able to take out a moving target from 3,800 meters away on a predictive shot, shattering a world record in the process. He's a genius, able to evade capture during a global manhunt, and can even completely transform himself into another person, mimicking their tone and mannerisms so perfectly that even close acquaintances can't tell the difference. But after finishing this latest job, he's met the most unprofessional client of his entire career. They refuse to pay the balance and even insult him. Hello everyone, this is part 2 of our look at the day of the Jackal. Last time we introduced the Jackal, this nearly perfect operative. No name, no identity. He moves without a trace. Almost no one in the world knows his true background. When he's not on a job, he's secretly bought a home under a false identity and started a family attempting to live with the woman he chose, a life full of warmth and love. But his new family has no idea what he really is. Right now, he's juggling 2 contracts. One is potentially the most lucrative contract he'll ever get, $100 million. The other is probably the most unprofessional deal he's ever encountered. Staring at the big red text, the Jackal doesn't respond. He's clearly furious. Luckily, the client already paid a deposit. The Jackal asks the bank for the sender's information and then falls deep into thought. Just then, his wife knocks on the door. She's noticed that early this morning, her husband has locked himself away in his study, joking with him, trying to lighten the mood. The Jackal appreciates her effort and tells her about an even bigger business deal. If it goes through, he'll have a lot more time to spend with his family. His wife just smiles when she hears this.
The people you work for think that because they pay you a lot of money, they own your soul.
Her sudden remark really hits home for the Jackal, even though his wife has no idea who he really is. She sees the unspoken frustration deep inside him. He loves her even more for it. Today is the party for the Jackal's son's first birthday. The guests at the villa are all his wife's friends and family. Everyone is coming and going speaking Spanish. As the host, the Jackal feels completely out of place, no matter who tries to talk to him. He says he's not very good at Spanish, using the language barrier to keep his distance. Lunch is about to start. The Jackal receives a message from the bank. He immediately excuses himself from his wife. He gets back to his computer and sees the bank's reply says they can only trace the origin of the payment account, which is in Munich, Germany. The politician the Jackal previously took out was also from Munich. This means the job might have been an inside hit. While his wife's family is having lunch, the Jackal has already packed his bags and is ready to leave. His wife is obviously not happy, because this isn't the first time her husband has left so suddenly, but she still decides to drive him to the airport. The Jackal tries to refuse, but he can't argue with his wife's insistence, so they drive in silence. About 2 hours later, the two arrive at the airport. As they say goodbye, his wife asks him to say "I love you" in Spanish.
¿Me puedo dímelo en inglés?
I love you.
She's not really expecting him to say it perfectly. She just wants him to stop being so guarded and distant. After watching his wife drive away, the Jackal doesn't go into the airport. Instead, he walks over to the passenger pickup area and gets into a taxi.
La avenida de Andalucía en esquina con la calle Alta. Gracias.
This reveals his true level of fluency in Spanish. The Jackal takes off his ring and goes to his storage unit in the city. Inside there are over 10 passports and a large amount of euros. After grabbing what he needs, the Jackal takes another taxi to the train station. And at that very moment, his wife happens to be downtown shopping. As luck would have it, she spots her husband in a taxi. She doesn't have time to get a good look, but that familiar profile, she'd never mistake it. She calls her husband's phone, but he's already turned it off. A short time later, the Jackal crosses into Germany. He gets a call from his second client, using a voice modulator to disguise his voice.
I've spoken to my colleagues, and we feel there's a deal to be done. But we need to meet in person to work out the details.
But the client is firm, demanding a face-to-face meeting within 48 hours. Otherwise, they'll find someone else for the job. The Jackal considers it for a moment, and then gives in.
You'll have to come to me.
I look forward to it.
He can't go anywhere else, so he has to set the meeting for Munich. The client arrives there quickly. At the designated restaurant, he waits for a moment, and is then handed a letter by the waiter. The client leaves the restaurant and heads to the indicated location. The Jackal had actually been watching him from outside the restaurant since he arrived, and starts to tail him. By now, he has disguised himself as a bald gentleman. In a crowded city, he needs to be extra sure the client came alone. After confirming this, he decides to reveal himself. The Jackal sits down next to him to negotiate. The man is just a go-between, representing his boss to haggle with the Jackal. He hopes to close the deal at $50 million. Even if it's not 100 million, 50 million is still a massive amount. For taking out a German chancellor candidate, the Jackal only gets 7.5 million euros. In this line of work, there probably won't be a wealthier client, or a more profitable job than this. So he agrees to the price, half in advance, half on delivery.
No, half up front won't fly, but I am authorized to pay you a commencement fee of $20 million.
The Jackal thinks for a moment.
The job has to be completed by the 28th.
I'm not in the habit of being hurried.
UDC releases River on the 28th. It's non-negotiable. Can you do it?
During this meeting, all three of the Jackal's demands were rejected by the client: the price, the deposit terms, and the prep time. But because he doesn't want to lose this client, he compromises on everything. Finally, the client asks one more question. He asks why he's still in Munich. He suspects the Jackal ran into some trouble on his last job and is worried it might affect their deal. Of course, the Jackal has nothing to say. After parting ways with the client, the Jackal goes to a local bank in Munich. 2 weeks ago, the deposit from his previous job was transferred to his account right here. The bank provides the sender's information. It's the name of a company. The Jackal immediately returns to his safe house and looks up this company online. He finds that it has a parent company registered in the Netherlands. So he goes to a Dutch website and finds that behind this parent company, there's another parent company registered in France. Then he checks a French website, and sure enough, there's a third parent company. After finding a fourth parent company, the Jackal decides to try a different approach. He goes to a website for reporting corporate misconduct to look up the complaint history of that parent company. The company was dissolved 20 years ago. The good news is that the personnel records are still available. The Jackal zeroes in on the director's name. Through this director, he finds another German company that he currently manages. So on this company's official website, the Jackal finds photos from their annual party. He looks through them one by one, and he recognizes a face. This face belongs to the son of the politician he took out. Back then, to draw out his target, the Jackal first infiltrated the politician's company and injured his son, forcing the politician to visit his son in the hospital and creating an opportunity to take him down. If the son anonymously hired someone to get rid of his own father, but didn't expect the Jackal to use him as bait, then it would make sense why he's refusing to pay the balance and insulting him.
Fuck you.
The Jackal begins to set his new plan in motion. He goes to a funeral home that exclusively serves the wealthy elite. At this point, he's disguised as a frail, sickly German man. Dogfish, yeah. He's using a cane, faking a painful limp, which gets him the sympathy of the funeral home director.
Meine Mutter hat keine Pläne gemacht. Sie hat mir nichts gesagt, was ich wollte. Jetzt bin ich allein in dem großen Haus mit den 2 Hunden.
His cover story is, he's a lonely aristocrat who was very close to his mother. After her passing, he has to drag his weak body to handle her final arrangements.
Sie hat immer allen geholfen. Also ich war ihm.
After the sound of the director's footsteps fades, the Jackal quickly gets up, goes to the director's computer, and plugs in his hacking USB drive, installing a piece of remote access software. By the time the director returns, the Jackal has already completed his infiltration. Back at the safe house, the Jackal starts his remote access, connecting to the funeral director's computer. It turns out this funeral home is the very one that handled the arrangements for the German chancellor candidate, who was recently eliminated. Through the director's internal network, the Jackal looks up the politician's funeral details and finds the staff assignments. There's one driver, specifically assigned to drive the politician's son. The Jackal jots down his name and license plate number. With that, his work is done for now. The Jackal calls home. His wife, who answers the phone, has been bottling up her worries for days. She tells her husband directly that after she drove him to the airport, she saw him in a taxi downtown. Of course, the Jackal denies it, but his wife and mother-in-law suspect he's having an affair. The Jackal has no choice but to do what his wife the service with a limp, making sure the guests see his strong appearance without a cane. He's very concerned with his image, just like his father was. Just before the politician was taken out, he was arranging for flowers to be sent to his mistress. He wanted the kind that would make him look pragmatic and rational, rather than deeply in love. At the politician's funeral, the first person his son greets is his own mother. His mother shows absolutely no concern for his injured leg.
Davon werde ich mich niemals erholen.
Danke, Mutter, fürs Fragen. Wegen meiner Genesung. Ich wurde angeschossen.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? Let's go! Hey! Yeah, this is my life, my strife, my right to fight, to die on. And this is my game to play, to claim a brand new name, And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a bit nervous that I might screw everything up that I've ever done. But what's the point of living if you ain't having fun? I guess I'll try this, try that, might miss, gotta find what I'm good at. I guess I look here, look there, over where am I scared, where am I at? I gotta make it in this life, whatever makes me happy, know I'm doing things right. Sipping in the summer on a goose and Sprite, or find a nightclub for the end of the night, And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?